Hi, everybody. Meteorologist Joe Cioffi. Weather in 5 days in 5 minutes. And we're going to start off today with the threat for severe weather for our area from northeastern Virginia, a small portion of northeastern Virginia, into Maryland, the eastern half of Pennsylvania, the southern half of New Jersey, and then you get into a slight risk of severe weather from northern New Jersey, northeastern Pennsylvania, through the Hudson Valley to about New York City and western Long Island, much of Connecticut, Massachusetts, and on north of there up into southwestern Maine. So we do have this cold front that's coming on through, and this would be for a chance for thunderstorms late this afternoon and this evening. And since we had severe weather back just a few days ago that produced a tornado, well, why not? So we're going to see a cold front move through, and it's going to heat up ahead of it today with temperatures in the upper 80s to lower 90s. Now let's switch over to the tropics, where we're dealing, of course, with tropical storm. With actually it's the two tropical storms and one hurricane. Hurricane Dorian this morning. It has been pretty much crawling all night long. Hasn't really moved very much, but at least it keeps moving, and that's a good thing after the stalling tactics of just the weekend and into Monday. And here it is on the map that you can see some observations. This is a buoy that's out at 29 and 78 and a half. Showing winds south-southeast at 60, gusting to 80 miles an hour. They are very close to the eye. The eye is the center, is very large. It's not completely closed off, but we seem to be seeing some signs that perhaps Dorian is going to either hold its own in terms of strength, or it might gain a little strength here, at least based on what we're looking at on the on the satellites and radars this morning. The buoy that is sitting to the east of the coast, not too far southeast of Titusville, has a north-northeast wind. I'm sorry, a west-northwest wind at 54, gusting to 74 miles an hour. We've got Palm Bay with a west wind at 35, 28 to 35. So certainly gales are occurring up along the immediate coast, and tropical storm conditions, but the core of the hurricane remains offshore. And you can see it here just sort of inching its way northward, but in the last several hours, you'll notice the development of a big band of bright white clouds that's starting to wrap all the way around. So it looks like the eye may be closing off again and tightening up a little bit. We'll have to see if this is going to be confirmed by reconnaissance aircraft later today. So we might see we might see Dorian pick up a little bit of strength as it moves toward the north and toward the Carolinas. Here's a enhanced loop this morning, and the same idea. You can see the cloud tops you get these colder cloud tops, and the brighter red colors start to show up toward the last few frames of the loop, and beginning to wrap around from the northwest, just coming all the way around. We'll watch it again as it gets a little bit further to the north. And now, of course, the big issue being the tidal flooding that is going on. Local radars, this is, by the way, these satellite and radars ending at about 5:30 a.m., up a little early, doing weather in 5 today. And you can see the back edge of the eye wall is offshore. The rain coming into the coast down to about Fort Pierce, but not quite as far south down to West Palm Beach. And some of the one solid band has extended pretty well inland, but the strongest winds again right along the immediate coast. And now we're starting to see it come into range of Jacksonville radar, and you see the rain bands. There's one rain band of some heavy downpours that's actually moved into southeast Georgia and west of Jacksonville, that is coming down to the south. Here's the latest reconnaissance aircraft reports. This last report is as of 5:22 a.m. and the plane is still maneuvering here. I'm just going to freshen this shot up to make sure it's the most recent, and it is. So we have the actual. We've seen the pressure is 960 964, and on the third pass 963 with that northwest course. And on this view, you can see Tropical Storm Fernand, which is getting ready to move inland into northeast Mexico with the top winds right now of 50 miles an hour. And we actually have Tropical Storm Gabrielle, which is way out in the Atlantic. So we've got three named storms going. And I'll just show you from the Hurricane Center's forecast page, should it decide to load, which it's seemingly not to do. But trust me, there are three named storms. This is, nope, it's stuck on me. Okay, oh, here we go. So you've got Gabrielle, which is at 19.633.6. You've got Dorian, Fernand. You still have this disturbed weather to the northeast of Dorian that the Hurricane Center is still watching with a 50% chance of tropical storm development, and a wave moving off the African coast, which has a 70% chance of developing in the next 5 days. So with respect to tropical storm warnings and hurricane warnings and hurricane watches that extend all the way up into southeastern Virginia, weather models are still pretty consistent, and it looks like we'll probably have it get very close to the South Carolina coast from Charleston to about Wilmington. The GFS keeps it just offshore. The NAM and the European models actually bring it right on the coast and straddle it northward, right along the Carolina coast, all the way through the Outer Banks. It'll be very, very close either way. And then offshore, the Outer Banks, Friday afternoon, it's a little bit slower. The GFS is now kind of caught on to the other models in terms of the speed and going a little bit slower. We do see some fringe rains reaching coastal New Jersey, down into Delaware, and also into Long Island to about New York City. That would be the northern fringe of this. The low goes pretty far south and east. Maybe you get some fringe gales for a little while offshore, but I think as far as anything on land, you really wouldn't know the difference too much. And then perhaps a little bit more of an impact with rain and wind for southeastern New England late Friday night, early Saturday morning, and then on its way to Nova Scotia for what could be a more solid hit here later Saturday morning into Saturday afternoon and to Saturday evening, and then possibly from there over to Newfoundland. So certainly the risks are up there for southeastern Canada. There's no real change either in the logic of the forecast here. Everything's pretty much the same story with regards to the upper air. I was hoping to show you one more shot there of that, but it looks like I've lost access to the internet for the time being. So bottom line is we are going to see probably certainly tropical storm conditions all the way up the coast, and in some areas probably hurricane conditions. We'll be updating this for you later on today. In the meantime, we are also going to focus on the severe weather threat that is here for from northeastern Virginia right up through a good chunk of New England as this cold front moves on through late this afternoon and this evening. And otherwise, it's going to be very warm. More humid today, temperatures up in the middle to upper 80s, and then watch for some thunderstorms, probably going into the evening commute. There really isn't much of anything going on this morning. All right, have a good day. Weather in 5 turned out to be weather in 9, but that happens during these situations. And Patreon members, you'll get a weather in 10 later today. Watch for website posts in between, and then my regular YouTube live stream show tonight at roughly 7 o'clock Eastern time.